The focus of my videos is typically on the Scrum framework, the Agile manifesto, development practices. But today, I want to talk about something I don't usually talk about. The product owner. Recently, I've had some cases where Scrum Masters had a hard time dealing with difficult product owners. And today, I want to talk about this topic. I want to give you some tips, insights that you can use next time you deal with this situation. Because you're gonna deal with this situation at some point. Let's start by going through some examples, real life scenarios of what a difficult product owner usually does. Messing with a team, messing with a Scrum framework, messing with the organization, and how to handle these kinds of situations. And then we're going to talk about some general tips, insights that you can use day to day to deal with difficult product owners. Starting with the sprint itself, changing priorities during the sprint, changing work during the sprint, which affects the sprint goal. Remember, the sprint goal is the single objective of a sprint. You can add work to the sprint, remove stuff from the sprint, change work from the sprint, use the stories, tasks, bugs, but you shouldn't be affecting the sprint goal. It's the single, most important objective of the sprint, but often product owners have a hard time managing change during the sprint for various reasons. Maybe they didn't prioritize well the backlog prior to starting the sprint. Maybe some items they thought were ready were indeed not ready because of dependencies from other teams. Maybe something just came up, pressure from management, the directors, they want to do something. We need to develop something new right now, so we need to change the priority of a sprint. You can do all these things, but you shouldn't be affecting the sprint goal. But some product owners have a hard time, and they actually affect the sprint goal. And this shouldn't be allowed. As a Scrum Master, you should be coaching this person, ensuring that they know that they shouldn't be affecting the sprint goal. Now, there's some cases where the product owner knows, they know that they shouldn't be affecting the sprint goal, so they start adding things, changing things in the sprint, even removing things from the sprint, but will not affect the sprint goal, and tell people from the team to do overtime. You need to do this additional amount of work, but you shouldn't be affecting the sprint goal. You keep doing things required to accomplish the sprint goal, but then you do some additional work because priorities just change. Management wants something. How to handle these kinds of situations as a Scrum Master? How do you deal with this difficult product owner? First, ensure that the product owner understands why we are sprinting. Why do we use sprints? Why there's a sprint goal? Why the sprint goal shouldn't change? Why consistency is important instead of always going fast and burning out? Why respecting the estimation, the commitments of the team is important. Why priorities shouldn't change in the middle of a sprint? Because it's simply a distraction from attaining the sprint goal. We're making a plan for 1 week sprint or maybe 2 week sprint, and then we should be able to work towards that. Now, but understand sometimes items are not ready, or we thought that items would be ready, but they are not. Management is pressuring the team to do something new. We really need to do this change in the sprint. But make sure that the product owner understands that this will might decrease the morale of the team. Additional work. They might be doing overtime. We'll lose this consistency. The work will go up, and what goes up usually crashes down. This might lead to burnout, a demotivated team, a team which is less driven, losing a lot of time because we are starting a new work in progress, piling up. If a product owner understands that this small change in the sprint, is causing all these things, and still make the decision that we need to change priorities. Well, change priorities, but talk about that in the sprint retrospective. Really important to talk about what happened as a team and how can we improve in the future. How can we ensure that this doesn't happen again in the future? And I'm sure that the team will find tons of ways. The next thing that a difficult product owner might do to the team is forcing them to overcommit on the amount of work that they believe they can do in the sprint. During the sprint planning, the product owner has explained all the user stories, all the tasks, all the bugs that they believe we can take in the next sprint. They work together with the developers to ensure that these items are ready. The developers really understand how to do these items, what needs to be done. The developers estimate these items, and the developers pick a list of things to do that they believe they will be able to get done. Not start working on, not complete 20%, no, get done by the end of the sprint. And we craft a sprint goal together. But some product owners We pressure the team. Tell the team, okay, I'm sure we can take more story points. I'm sure we can do more user stories. Ignore the estimations of the developers. They know better. Even though the developers are doing the work, even though the team is supposed to be self-managed, no, the product owner knows better. The product owner knows that something is not a 4-pointer. No, it's way less. It's a 1-pointer. No, wait, that's 8 points. No, it's only 2 points. I know better. I'm the product owner. From the Scrum Guide 2020, through discussion with the product owner, the developers select items from the product backlog to include in the current sprint. The Scrum team may refine these items during this process, which increases understanding and confidence. The developers select items to include in the sprint, not the product owner forcing them to take stuff. No, it makes sense for people actually doing the work to tell you how much work they believe they can do. Now, if you have a product owner that can't follow this simple guideline, you treat it like any other thing that the product owner is not following from the Scrum Guide. You understand why? Start with why. Why does the product owner believe that they know better than the team? Why does the product owner believe that it's a good idea to force the team to take more work that they believe they can do? Does the product owner believe that if we force the team to take more work, they will do more work? Based on what? The product owner believes that based on what? Is there proof? An experiment that the product owner did? Valid data that the product owner can find online to support this argument? Because there's tons of research that shows that a team that is continuously meeting their sprint's commitments are more motivated, more driven. But a team that is allowed to be self-managed, self-organized, not someone, especially someone who is not even technical, forcing them to do stuff. This team, when they are allowed to be self-managed and self-organized, they are more motivated, they are more driven, and a more motivated, a more driven, a happier team do more, they perform better. Now, some general tips that you need to start following, practicing right now when dealing with difficult product owners as a Scrum Master. First, trust. They need to trust you. You can't do your job as a Scrum Master if the product owner, the developers, the stakeholders, anyone doesn't trust you. They need to trust your competencies. They need to know that you are qualified enough to do the job. And second, that you have the interest of the company and their interest in mind when you're suggesting things, when you're coaching them, mentoring them, teaching them things. And this trust, it's hard to build, but not that hard. What I suggest doing is always going into the personal side of things first. Don't always talk about work. Maybe you shouldn't even be talking about work when first meeting the product owner. Go grab coffee, go for lunch, have fun together with the product owner, with the team. Get to know them on a personal level, because at the end of the day, we are dealing with people. It's not only reading the Scrum Guide and applying that, ignoring that we are dealing with people. No, Agile, software development, work. We are dealing with people, so know how to manage people, handle difficult people. That's the core of the role of a Scrum Master, knowing how to deal with people. And it all starts with trust. And you can watch this video to get more details on how to build this trust. Then have open communications, frequent open communications with the product owner, one-to-one coaching calls, one-to-one sessions, regular updates, regular meetings. Every single day you need to be talking with a product owner. Beginning of the day and at the end of the day. I don't really care if you have nothing to talk about. If you have nothing to talk about, you talk about personal stuff. But you need to be talking frequently to the product owner. The product owner has a crucial role in the team. Maybe, arguably, the most important role, because we ensure that the team maximizes the value, the work that we are giving to the team. By prioritizing the backlog, we need to ensure that all the efforts of the team are going into the right direction to provide value to the customer. Such an important role. And you need to be talking with the product owner and have a very good relationship with the product owner. Else, it won't work. Number 2 is simply setting boundaries and expectations with the product owner. Maybe build some sort of agreement on how you interact with the product owner. First, obviously, make sure that they understand their role. Read the Scrum Guide together with them, the product owner section, and ensure that they understand what is expected from them from the Scrum framework. Then read also the part about the Scrum Master, what is expected for the Scrum Master from the Scrum framework. Now, Have a discussion. What do you expect from the product owner? What does the product owner expect from you? Agree on how you communicate. Agree on a goal. What are we trying to achieve individually, together, us two, and as a team? And you need to do the same thing with the developers also, and with the stakeholders also. You can't really meet the expectations of someone if you don't know what they expect from you. Same thing for the customers. We assume that they want to use something, that they would like a particular feature. And what do? We release this feature early. And we put that in front of a customer to test our assumption, confirm our assumption. Then we get feedback, then we build something better. Same thing for the product owner. You're assuming that the product owner wants things for the team. Did you ask the product owner what's the vision of a team? What does he feel about this team? Maybe you need to start with that, and then you'll understand where they are coming from, why they are trying to pressure the team, why they are changing priorities, why they are making decisions for the team. It's all about, third, empathy. Put yourself in the perspective of a product owner looking at the team, looking at the product backlog. You need to be able to do that as a Scrum Master. And once you can do that, you can really understand why this product owner is doing certain things. And once you understand that, it's way better to manage this product owner, persuade, influence this product owner to go into the right path. And the last thing I want to talk about, ensure that the product owner is at the level that we expect. So many product owners are not at the expected level. They are not skilled enough. They lack the knowledge. They lack the understanding of a product, of a Scrum framework, of the ways of work. And instead of fixing this issue, we let them pressure the team, mess up the team. And this results to a lower quality product and a broken team. Fix the issue at the source. If a product owner doesn't know how to prioritize, coach them or direct them to a course or a training. Someone else will coach them. Clear lack of competencies. Find these missing links. Training. One-to-one coaching sessions, escalate it. Maybe there's a product manager somewhere that can coach the product owners. But don't ignore this part. Many Scrum Masters are afraid to talk directly, give feedback to the product owner. But you should be comfortable enough because you built this trust. You built this psychological safety. You should be comfortable enough talking honestly with the product owner, providing feedback and also receiving feedback from the product owner and the team. Which brings me to my next point. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.